Welcome to Advanced Rotary Session Reconnaissance from Tactical DCS. I am Bulldog 6, and if you attended either the online session for reconnaissance or the sessions that we do with Tactical DCS, then this is associated with the mission for reconnaissance. Again, this is a part of a larger operation that we will conduct as a capstone mission later on this year. So, without further ado, this is the 501st Aviation Training Battalion Reconnaissance Mission. Today's purpose is pretty simple. The reconnaissance session and mission is to build upon what you have learned and apply it to a mission set. Your session is for you and your teammates. We highly recommend that you perform this as a team. You can do this solo or as a one ship, but it increases your ability to accomplish tasks as if you work as a team or a group. You can accomplish many things. In other words, one person flies, will the other person take notes? Or teamwork, teamwork, teamwork. Two members in one aircraft or two teams per task is the goal for best success. This is a learning event, and the goal is to treat it as if it is real. Task, condition, and standards for today. Task is conduct reconnaissance of known areas or named areas of interests to gather intelligence on enemy forces. Conditions, use DCS and other tools to conduct reconnaissance of those named areas or known areas of interest. Techniques required are zone, area, and route reconnaissance. For each one of these, it'll kind of dictate for each NAI what type of method. The standard is to gather 80% of the intel for those NAIs, to make notes, even take pictures if possible, to provide the information needed for a commander to confirm or deny his courses of actions. Then you will review your actions to gather intelligence and apply lessons learned and continue conducting reconnaissance activities. So without that, and if there is no questions, you can always PM me on Discord. But I look forward to seeing your comments and seeing the overall mission that you complete. So now we'll make it official, and here is your mission brief. This is for reconning NAIs. I am Bulldog 6, your commanding officer for this event. Situation is as follows. The Russian Federation force has installed a replacement government in Syria. And after the fall of the al-Bashir regime, and as a result, they have expanded their control of the region and began reinforcing battalions along the 35th Northern, and the United Nations have given the RFF 36 hours to stop all activities and to allow UN forces in. A no-fly zone have been established by the RFF, the Russian Federation force, and a combined UN force is to conduct a buildup operation to counter the push from the RFF, and the UN forces is led by the U.S. 2nd Infantry Division with support from multinational forces in the region. Enemy forces consist, and this is from the Russian Federation force, at current intel of the area, is the 3rd of the 45th Armor. That comprises the 4th Armor Brigade, the 56th Mechanized Brigade, the 2nd and 4th Artillery Battalion, the 1st and 12th Missile Battalion, the 45th Aviation Attack Battalion, and the 44th Combat Support Battalion. They also have support from the Syrian Freedom Fighters from ISIS-K. Our friendly forces in the area, and this is of our operational area, is 2nd Infantry Division under 1st Corps. We have the 1st Brigade Combat Team. We also have the 2nd Brigade Combat Team to the west and the 3rd Brigade Combat Team to the east. First BCT comprises of the 2nd Armor Battalion, 3rd Armor Battalion, 1st Ranger Battalion, the 5th and 6th Infantry Battalion, 10th Special Forces Group, the 524th Artillery Battalion, the 501st Aviation Battalion, the 21st Marine Expeditionary Force Aviation, and also the 542nd Combat Support Battalion. We also included with our UN forces in support is the 35th Aviation Detachment from the UK, the 69th Aviation Squadron from the Israeli Defense Force, and the 25th Aviation Brigade Detachment from Ukraine. The Corps Commander's intent is to conduct breaching operations of the RFF to split the forces in order to control the central region of Syria. The key to success is controlling the dam in the Paharet al-Assad reservoir. This will provide a choke point for the RFF to support their forces to the coastline of Syria. Situational map, as you can see here, the RFF is to the north, and it's a boundary line pretty much of this high terrain and high mountain region. They are in control of everything to the north, and they control the airfield at right south of the dam. And you have the Armor Brigade there, another mechanized brigade, and another mechanized brigade. The commander's intent is for us to break through, control the reservoir, control pretty much this river, and deny them ability to push any forces in support of 1st Brigade combat team, 2nd Brigade combat teams push to control and isolate the enemy forces along the coastline to our location. First BCT commander's intent is to conduct operations in support of the Corps commander's intent. Goal is to rapidly break through enemy lines, capture the air base. We will use surprise and overwhelming force to outmaneuver the RFF and secure all the high terrain and deny the RFF control of the airspace and the land surrounding. Our overall goal is to push all the way up and control the dam and all the river crossings, denying their ability to reinforce the units to the west. The key to success is to hold the terrain to allow follow-on forces to isolate the RFF near the coast of Syria. Our operational area from Palmyra is where all our forces are primarily located. We have 3 battalions of armor, and the intent is to push up through the gap and push up north. We do have phase lines, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Echo, and Foxtrot. We have a diversion operation that's happening to the west over in this area here. This area is going to be a diversion. We're going to have smoke operations and try to divert them to think that this is their weak point and to reinforce that location. We also have an airborne operation that's happening in drop zone rows to control this area and set up observation posts and control key avenues to come in for their support, as well as control the airspace and any land operations coming from the east in support of their movements. We do have objectives. We have hot dog, taco, Coors, and Bud for the operation that's going to be happening within the 24 hours. The NAIs, or named areas of interest, are 1 here, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We also have in Palmyra, we also have a FARP, Cottontail. This is in support of the ground forces as they push. We also have a screening operation happening with a CAV unit, ground forces there, and we also have ground forces with OPs along their southwest portion of the high terrain. In the last 36 hours, our last drone, and we spotted this type of formations and their setups. We do know that there's a heavy concentration of armor located where we're planning on doing a screening operation. We also know that they have done an emplacements of heavy armor as well as a minefield in this gap. We also understand that there's artillery support and also another possible reinforcement of armor. Over in the area to the northeast, there is some settlements, and we know that the ISIS-K is also located there, and they also are being supported by the RFF, so that is also a concerning area of interest. Also to the north, we think that there is a command headquarters located to the far north, supported by not only artillery, but a missile battalion located in that region as well. We're thinking that those are still in place, and these are still in place, but their range could reach all the way down to Palmyra and the supporting forces. So that's the last 36 hours. Right now, part of your operation to conduct reconnaissance is to kind of confirm or deny some of these emplacements. So our mission today is the 501st Aviation Battalion and detachments will conduct a morning reconnaissance of the battlefield. This will be a part of the commander's courses of actions. The NAIs will have been established in order to confirm and deny those courses of actions. Your mission is to conduct a reconnaissance of those NAIs and gather vital intel and report your findings to Bulldog 6 no later than 10:30 local. Now that is game time play, so for this situation, it's game play. As you hop into the aircraft, you're going to see pre-dawn. Go ahead and, since you have signed in Tactical DCS and signed up for this event, in the chat location for us, you can go ahead and submit your reports. You can say what your findings, what your NAIs was, what you did, how you did it, even include pictures. It's great for everybody to see, and I will also incorporate that into a follow-on mission. Timeline. T hour, and this is game time. T hour 0:20. So T hour is 07, I believe. So no later than 07 plus 20. So 0:20 hours T time is going to be reconnaissance. Provide that intel and target positions. Rotary support assets are beginning to be prepped. See, critical information. Now, this is something that's very, very important. You're going to go out there and you need to get this critical information. Where are they located? What is things, if there's anything like a scud, you need to say, and you need to call it, there's a fox in the hen house, okay? So make sure that that information is very, very vital that you call over the net, because as of right now, we know there's a missile battalion that's operating in the AO. We believe it's to the north, but we need to get eyes on. We also, no later than 3 plus 30 hours for tea time, all reconnaissance elements need to fall back and report their findings. So you have relatively 3 hours to conduct this mission. Even getting to the farthest point to the north, 3 hours. So if you need to come back, refuel, and do a grid pattern, or do, systematically making sure that nothing's in any blind spot, you got to do what you got to do. So come back. Remember, don't be seen. It's very, very important. Don't be seen. T hour 5 plus 25. All the attack and support by fire positions. So this is all the battalions that are going to conduct the engagements are going to call their ready call. And then H hour is Geronimo. That's when the movement begins. So you are very, very important to gather this information that we can ensure that are the enemy units in the same location that we suspect them to be. If they are not, then that changes the course of action for the battalion commander, or for these brigade commanders, or for a unit to say, okay, my intent was to go in here. It's no longer going to go in here. We need to relocate to a different location. So very vital. Execution. Select your aircraft and your tasking. You can resupply as needed. There will be no cast support beyond the enemy lines. Now remember, the enemy is operating in their airspace, so they might have helicopters, they might have fixed-wing aircraft. Be alert and stay alive. Review the map for your best routing, and you can do that from the F10 map, or when you get ready to hop into your aircraft, you can go ahead and you can set up a route if you want to set up a route. Look at the terrain. Look what's going to be best to provide you cover. Our last known enemy positions are 48 hours old. The RFF has shot down 2 unmanned drones. So you are the vital key to tell us where they are at. Departure from the airfield needs to happen no later than 0730 local. Reconning the NAIs with sensors, cameras, photos, notes, everything is game. The more information that you can provide for your area that you're conducting reconnaissance in, the better the commander can say, okay, my decision is good or it's not good for this course of action. NAIs. Now this is going to be in your knee board. So you'll have a copy of this. You can do what's called a spot and salute report. Size, activity, location, uniform, time observed, and any special equipment. Remember, your NAIs. How is the terrain going to affect us? If all of a sudden you look and there is no roads and they've got destroyed vehicles along road, we need to know. So we won't be able to use that. If a bridge is out, we need to know. And the obstacles. If you see how the weather and the environment and conditions, is it getting foggy that you can't see? What type of enemy is it? Where are they located? What are they doing? So again, one quick review of the big picture. So here's our big picture. So we have a lot of enemy units out there. So you need to pick your way and utilize terrain best to mask yourself and to look at things. Let's go over the NAIs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Each one of these are very, very crucial, and they have their own information. So take notes right now. NAI 1. NAI 1 is to the north, and we need to make sure that where is the buildup of any artillery positions. So we're looking for artillery positions in this AO. Also, do they have anything on the northern side of all this high terrain that we can't see? So scanning this high terrain. So this is going to be kind of an area recon. We need to know what their disposition is over in this high terrain, because this is part of phase line Delta and Echo, and we're going to be reinforcing this once we break through to the objectives. We don't want any surprises, and if we need to hit this or maybe change our artillery strikes, we need to know. So that's NAI 1. NAI 2, that has multiple facilities or building complexes. We know that ISIS-K is located in this area. We need to know if they are going to operate any type of long-range weaponry systems, or are they in a supporting position that they're going to, say, have any armor or have any mechanized or have any supporting that's going to engage us from our flank. So we need to know what their disposition is in all these facilities that they have over here. I believe there's 3 of them, and there's also, I want to say, a 4th down here outside. So that is something that we need to know. We need to know if they've got anything there, a Scud launcher or any long-range missile or even a air defense system. So need that information. So this is not necessarily a route. This is more kind of like an area or kind of a zone reconnaissance. 3. So 3 is going to be a tricky one. We do know that they had emplacements all along this ridge line and on the northern side and on the back side of field artillery pieces. We know that they have long range and they also we want to confirm, do they have rockets? If they have long-range rocket artillery, we need to know where those emplacements are. Because those emplacements in the rocket artillery, we can do a counter battery, and if we can get known positions that they are set up and it looks like they are stationary, then we'll go ahead and do target reference points. And if you can get me target reference points or TRPs with locations and grid coordinates, that will really be assistant. We'll do a counter battery, or we might even do an initial barrage in this area. So this is really crucial in AI 3. Need to find artillery pieces that are in this area. In AI 4. In AI 4 is, do they have anything in the flanking area? We don't expect anything, and our last reconnaissance didn't see anything in this area. But there's multiple road networks, and it's high traveling aspect. So this high travel road might become a route reconnaissance, and check out the route and see if there's any easily traveled vehicles that are on these roads that are traveling and any of their composition. Do they have anything set up in this area that's going to provide them backup support? Is there an eye in the sky? Is there some kind of air defense? Is there some kind of radar? Is there a counter battery? We need to know that. So route reconnaissance, and also verify to make sure there is nothing of any surprises for us in this area. That's going to be part of our follow-on mission of a course of action. If we're going to conduct a diversion just to the south of that, we don't want any surprises that they're going to see through our diversion. 5. 5's really a key important thing to know. The commander needs to know in this area here, do they have support? Is their command structure, the last time we saw it was in Objective Bud, they had a headquarters element located there. We need to verify that NAI 5 is not a staging area for any heavy armor or any supporting aspect that can do a counter attack on us. So not only area or zone reconnaissance, but you need to pinpoint where the headquarters is. Are there any field artillery units? All along the phase line here that's to the north, you have a whole road network. Is there any equipment along the road? Is there any equipment staged as a supporting element near objective Coors? Is Coors a empty area, or do they have it occupied? Is objective Bud still a large combination of headquartered elements? Is there any aviation assets? Is there any armor support? Is it their combat service support location? Very important. So NAI 5 is key to know if we're going to go to objective Coors or Bud. If we know that it's heavily and they are fortified in Bud, then we might go to objective Coors and do a pincer attack, attacking from the south and attacking from the east to isolate them. But we need to know that information. And all these road networks going to the north, part of NAI 5, are these routes clear, or do they have any reinforcements or any heavy armor coming down? Coordinate instructions. Recon units have 3 hours to conduct the mission. Maintain minimum radio traffic. Report salute reports to Bulldog 6 no later than 24 hours after you complete your mission or your flight. Use Discord chat in the sign up section to submit all your stuff, and just go ahead and send pictures and do all that good stuff. More information that you can give me as somebody that does not know, and the who, what, where, when, how, and why will be very good, and we'll critique those as well. You can PM me Anytime, if you need additional requests, like you need to have some other information, or if you want something that you are planning on doing, but you don't know if you can do it or not, you can always give me that information. That's part of your question and answer session if you have one to give me. FARP Cottontail is fully supplied, so you can go ahead and rearm at Cottontail, and you can also refit as needed. I do have a couple of helicopters there, but those are not your primary helicopters. Those could be good for backup. If you're flying a Gazelle, if you're flying a OH-58, and you go down, you can spawn in one of those, get you a little bit closer to the battlefield. Those are also fully operational. All the other aircraft are not operational, and you are immortal, because I don't want you to go down because of a simple mistake and have to redo and start this all over again. So use it as a lesson learned. Be like, oh yeah, I really messed that up, but it's all good. Rules of engagement. Only engage contacts if you can't evade or break contact. Is not an option. There is no reconnaissance in force. You're not there to tell them that you're there and engage. We don't want the enemy to know that we're there. As a result, there is enemy OPs, or observation posts, on the battlefield, and they will engage you with artillery. So if you start seeing some big booms around you, that means the enemy has seen you and they have fired some artillery shots at you to try to take you out. The 4th Signal Battalion is operating a Hybrid on station, and that is further to the south of Palmyra, but it has communication capabilities to relay, so we're utilizing the Hybrid to relay information. You can go ahead and monitor FM 50. That'll be also relayed through the Hybrid, so you should have communications at all times. The enemy does have air defense artillery, has SAMs, has early warning, so avoid flights above 200 feet AGL. They will see you and they will shoot you down. So if you get shot, it's a lesson learned, but just think about that. Okay? So airfield is non-controlled for all operations, so just go ahead and use non-controlled activities on the radio for radio traffic and report in the blind. Monitor FM 50, the command net, at all times. Sustainment, Palmyra and FARP Carpentel are fully manned and full of resources, so you can go ahead and do the resupply and refit as needed. C2 and Signal. So in your knee board, you will have a comms page in your knee board, so you can reference that at any time. All the aircraft should have their channels already set, so you can go to channel 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you'll have that depending on what radio that you're using, an ARC 164 or an ARC 22 or an R863 and so forth. Monitor the command net and also call your reports in the blind. So on the command net, when you cross into enemy lines and coming back and crossing friendly lines, 1 minute out from crossing friendly lines, call out Baker. So, Roughneck 1-1 Baker, Bakersfield, time now. So that will tell all of our guys that are conducting screening operations not to shoot down the aircraft that's coming towards them. You have a friendly aircraft and they have to identify and IFF them. So if you go down and you are hit, if you happen to smack the ground and destroy your blades, call out Toga on FM 50. If you see another aircraft go down, call Toga on FM 50. That tells the command net that there's an aircraft down and recovery operations need to commence. When you're entering your NAI, call out what it is. Chile 1. So that's NAI number 1. You'll call out Chile 1. That tells the command net that that we know that we have eyes in that NAI. When you exit the NAI, you will call dog. So it'll be dog 1, and you're exiting out of NAI 1. Use CTAF in normal ops frequencies for all normal communication, as you see to the right of your screen, and you can use interflight as needed. Now, we try to tell you to minimize your radio communications while you're flying because, yes, the enemy can triangulate radio communications. So always remember, try to be and make sure brevity is what you're using. With that being the case, I want to welcome you to this mission. It's going to be a challenging mission. This mission is going to be in the morning time frame. You got 3 hours to conduct this. You can do it. It will be difficult. It is not going to be easy. There's going to be aircraft. There's going to be vehicles moving. It's an active operational area. So treat it as such. And remember, stay alert, stay alive. And I look forward to hearing and seeing your reports. And last but not least, the date is already set. As you saw when you signed up, that'll be the after action review or the lessons learned for the entire reconnaissance event. So that's where we'll go ahead and do a full review and everybody gets together. You can contact me anytime if you have any questions. And if you have any issues getting onto the server, remember the server password is 1234. And good luck. This is Bulldog 6 out.